Hey guys, this is going to be a review of the Winchester model 1894, designed by John Browning, made in America from 19 or 1894 to 2006, and they just recently started making these in Japan, which I heard the quality is pretty good in Japan, and I'm thinking about getting an 1892 chambered in 357, just so this one probably can get some more downtime. Uh, the standard 20-inch barrel comes in around 7 pounds. Mine is a 16-inch barrel, so it's more around 6 pounds. They chambered this from 38 special all the way up to 450 Marlin. For not being a military issued rifle, it has been issued, but not as a main military issued rifle. 7.5 million of these were made, so they actually made quite a bit of these. Uh, the only rifle that I even see coming close to that kind of production, for a sporting rifle, would probably be the 1022 made by Ruger. The quality of these things changed throughout the year, and took its biggest hit in 1964, and the quality pretty much sucked all the way up until the 70s, and then in 82 they really stepped up the quality and changed the direction of the ejected shell. It used to eject straight up and back over your shoulder, and Winchester decided to change it to a Winchester 94 EA, meaning angled ejection, and it would pop up out the side, um, at an angle, hence EA, angled ejection. Um, and that allowed you to put a scope directly over the receiver. Before, it wasn't possible. You had to have one mounted to the side, and it kind of made it unwieldy and really just unbalanced, and not a lot of people preferred it. But me, I personally don't think this gun was designed to be scoped. It's to me, I like it just how it is, with the forward sights and everything. If my eyes start going bad, maybe I'll look into getting a peep sight. But scope really ruins the design. It's meant to be fast and thin, and that's pretty much what I bought it for. Uh, the safety on these, there's three different ones. There's the half cocked, which were on the older ones, and that's what most people prefer. And you actually, if you have a newer one, you can you can change it back to the old style, just by changing the parts back. And there's also a crossbolt, which is on the side of the receiver and goes straight through, and those are very ugly, and I don't think I'd ever get caught dead owning one, unless I got it very cheap, obviously. And mine is the Tang, and I'll show you that real quick. This this was actually, they started making these ones in 2004, and I think every safety should be like that. If you're gonna have one on a rifle, put it right there on the Tang. It's perfect. That's where it needs to be. Any rifle, boom, you can see it with your eyes. You see the red dot. Um, it's just real quick. You don't have to use your finger trigger, your trigger finger, and I absolutely love it. I never said I ever said I loved safety before, but I do love that safety. There's so many options with that safety. Uh, Locked and cocked if you're in a stand or in a hide or something. When I'm going through the woods, I'm not really hunting. I'm gonna leave this just completely unchambered, and when I'm ready to fire, just work the lever, and it's fast. Working lever is fast. Uh, and if you want, you can have one chambered and the hammer down. So when you're ready to fire, all you have to do is pull back the hammer, and the release the trigger. You're good to go. This isn't my choice for a hunting rifle, but it's viable. Being a 357, it's legal, and it could take any game in North America. Um, but I have other options, bigger calibers that I would choose, and you can also purchase this in 30-30 or in other calibers, which is more adequate than the 357 for taking larger animals. But 38 special is fun to shoot up the woods with. I don't consider shooting up critters hunting. I just consider that fun. So yeah, this is a fun rifle. You can take my word for it. It's pretty fun. Uh, if you can't tell, it's up there. It's one of my favorite rifles, if not my favorite rifle. It's just so sexy and fast. It just my shoulder loves it, and it loves me back. I can tell. um, it's just so sexy. It's thin. It's maneuverable. It's just with the 16-inch barrel, it points very fast for me. I'm just in love with this gun. I've had many guns, and I can tell you this is my favorite rifle. And sorry for the love story, but yeah, I love this rifle. The prices on these, they vary depending on variations that you want to buy. Pistol calibers, the trappers, they tend to go on the higher end, and I'm pretty sure you can still get them for under 600, more close to 500. And 30-30s, if you look hard, I'm sure you can get them for 300, just right around there, and that'll do you justice. 30-30, it's a very common round. So if you're looking for a hunting rifle, this will work. The reliability of these guns are excellent, with the exception of the pistol calibers. I've heard people complain about them jamming up inside, which I've actually had that problem, and people are saying it's because the 94 was designed for longer cartridges, and that wasn't the problem with my gun. Might be with some others, but the problem was what would happen was the lifter would actually spring it up and pop it further than the bolt, and it would actually have it canted in there, and it wouldn't be straight, and so it wouldn't go straight in. You have to wiggle it in. But with use, I've noticed that the spring lightened up, and I haven't had a problem even with these lighter rounds. Sometimes it will, like that. There you go. It popped it all the way around. But this is an aluminum dummy round. Hope I got that on camera. But this is, I mean, I haven't had a problem with these in a long time. After maybe 100 rounds through it, it started firing everything. And even 38s, short ones, all kinds of different hollow points, semi covered, all that kind of stuff. It was shooting everything, and haven't had a problem with reliability, and everything's pretty much manual on this gun. So if dirt gets in it, you can pretty much push through it. You know what I mean? It's not gonna jam it up, and like your slide's not gonna lock back. A notable competitor to the Winchester is the Marlin, and some people say it's built stronger, and I tend to believe them. I haven't owned one, but I've played with several, and they do feel different. They feel tighter, and I believe that to be because they have less moving parts. They're actually, the design is it's a little bit more simple. Well, I wouldn't say simple. It's just less moving parts, and it's more basic. Let's just say it's more basic. So it does feel tighter. And another advantage is they say is advantage. I don't believe it to be advantage. Ejects through the side, and that's only advantage if you really want to put a scope on it. And even then, the angled ejects, they fixed that problem with Winchester. So if you want to put a scope, this is drilled and tapped. And I tend to like Winchester's receiver more, just because when you're working the action and something does go on, it's really easy to clear it. Your whole top receiver opens up, and you can look down inside and see what goes on. You don't have to look on to the side Just tilt it back a little bit. You can see what's going on. You can mess with it, do whatever you got, put it back in. Also, another reason why I like the receiver better, it's really easy to feed. Single action, you know what I mean? Boom, put another one in there. So, no Marlin, you are built a little stronger, but that makes you bulky and heavier. I mean, look how thin this baby is. This is my boomstick, and it's light. I every time I go in the safe, I have to pick this baby up, and it's pretty much the only rifle I leave loaded in the safe. I have some rifles that I leave magazines loaded, but anything that has a external magazine, I usually or external attached magazine, I usually leave unloaded in the safe. Besides this one, because I believe this might be the one I go grab if I hear a bump in the night. Well, actually, you know what? Take that back. I don't know why I leave it loaded. I always grab the shotgun whenever things go bad at night, and that's just because it's out of the safe next to the bed, and I don't want to wound my neighbors. Takedown on this is not a chore. it's not fast. It's not easy, but it's actually fun. It's not a chore like the Ruger 2245. Oh man, that's a chore, and it's a headache. This one's actually pleasant to take down. There's no trick to it. Just remembering how to do it is the only problem, and it's not that difficult. I'll have a video eventually of me showing you how to take it down. Field stripping it, I mean, you pretty much have to take it all the way down, but it's usually not necessary that often. But it is easier on the Marlin if you want to clean your bore, through the receiver part the proper way. It is easier to take the bolt out of the Marlin, but to actually strip down the Marlin, I believe to be harder. Keep in mind, I never did it, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express, so I should know better, right? No, I've seen it done, and it doesn't look easy. It looks a little difficult actually, but I could be wrong. Let me know in comments if you think it's easy or harder. But me personally, this is not hard at all. I can take it down with my multi-tool in probably a minute and put it back together in a minute, maybe a little bit longer, just so I can be careful with the screws. But I do prefer field stripping toolless, and this was made over a century ago, so yeah, you do need screwdrivers, but that's about it, just a couple screwdrivers. This little rifle's handy, and that makes the POU kind of vast. The philosophy of use, you can it holds 38, so you can hunt just about any small animals with that without having to worry about messing up too much meat, and all the way up to larger animals with the 357. So it's pretty handy in the woods. The capacity is 10 in the magazine, which I believe that makes it California legal. I'm not sure if there's a limitation on lever actions, with how many rounds you can hold. But I know something about, I think you can only have 10-round magazines, so I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the lever action. But this is probably on the last of the list that the gun grabbers want to take away is the lever actions. So I mean, it's a forever gun. It's been around for a century. It is a good SHTF in case something like that happens. You're not looking very threatening carrying this around. You're not looking too tactical, which I'm not tactical. I'm not a trained tactical guy, and I'm sure somebody that is trained in the military probably would prefer something with a magazine like an AR or AK, because this is, you only have 10, and it is slower to reload. You can reload while you're in action, which is a benefit. You can throw a couple rounds in there in the middle of firing, and that is a benefit. You'll never lose the magazine, but I'm sure it's just too slow for you tactical guys. My my philosophy would be evasion, more evasion, less ammo. Get the heck out of there. It does have limitations on its range, being that it's 357, even though it's coming out of a 16-inch barrel, which picks up the velocity of the 357 quite a bit. It's still only good, capable out to 150 yards, and that's at the most, and that's probably about minimal that you should feel comfortable with your main, I guess, without rule of law gun. But in my neighborhood, my area, 150 is adequate. If it's not adequate for you and you are liking this type of gun, you can also get it in a higher caliber, which 30-30 is good out to probably about 300 yards. So you know, if things do hit the fan, I'm grabbing this one. I'm gearing up with. I'll show you in a second. Right here, put that in. Put that in your waistband. Some ammo. Maybe a Lee's Classic hand reloader. Put that in a bug out bag and you're good to go. If I'm patrolling the neighborhood, scouting, whatever. That's scary talk though. I don't think that's gonna happen, but it's good to be prepared. Like always, subscribe, like, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.